and I hope you all enjoy this roleplay series I'm starting with my friend Nat. And this is my grand thing I've been thinking about working on. I mentioned it in last week's or last night's stream or whatever, I don't know. I hope you all enjoy. This is my horse Precious. She's about 3-4 years old, and she's pretty new to stuff, so she gets a little spooky sometimes. I definitely need to work on her with that. But today we're just gonna be doing some warming up, maybe a trail ride later, and just some regular, I don't know, things that you do with your horses. I definitely want to make sure that she's clean and that she's ready for the day. She seems to be in a good mood. That's nice. I decided to lead her to the arena. I didn't want to jump right on her, and I looked over at my friend Nat to make sure she was okay, because her horse seemed to be freaking out a little bit, but it seemed like it was fine. One of the part of the arena, and I stopped again because her horse was freaking out, and I wanted to make sure it was okay, and she reassured me that everything was fine, and she was just having a bad day and she was spooking at something. She tried to calm her down though. I reassured Precious that everything was okay, and I mounted up. I normally mount her up after I've let her around a little bit more, but I gave her some pats to make sure she was okay with me mounting up early. I decided to follow behind Nat because I wanted Precious to learn that she didn't need to be leading all the time, and I know that's a good thing to teach the horses early, and since she's kind of new with me, I want to just set the ground rules with her immediately. I thought Nat was going to be in the arena with me, but she decided to go into a smaller one next door. Since they're both mares, they can get a little spicy sometimes, so it can definitely be different. Time for a montage. Decided to put some poles out. This is just a transition of them being put out. These are the ones that we went over multiple times. I remounted Precious after helping Nat with her horse. Her horse started freaking out again and we had to get it under control, but we started just trotting around them and on them. I wanted to trot beside them to make sure that she got used to them and that she didn't get spooked and that she was okay with the way and how they looked and what angle we would be going at, to make sure that nothing really ever spooked her and I was never in complete danger. She didn't seem to she seemed to be okay. Here is her going over them flawlessly. I love how she was open-minded and her ears were forward and she was listening and everything just kind of flew together. She wanted to kick up into a canter. As you can see, I had to pull her back, but I let her go anyways. I thought maybe she should have some fun, and it seemed okay. She didn't hurt herself. She was fully aware where her footing was, and I let her be okay with that. We continued going over the polls until it was around 12 noonish, I don't know, somewhere around the time. I wanted to conspire with Nat, and I called over to her to get her attention. She was just on her phone, minding her business, waiting for me to finish up with polls. I went over to her after I got her attention. She started walking over to me after I already called her name multiple times because she kept telling me to hold on. We started talking about if we should take the horses to a trail in the back, and she was saying that she thought it'd be a great idea and that she wouldn't mind doing that just to help them cool off and have a refresher at the end of the day. So I gave her my word that I wouldn't let anything bad happen. Started off through the opening. I made sure she was still behind me and not on her phone, texting whoever she was texting. The trail kind of area we were going around was behind the barn in the back in the forest. There had been some wildlife recently. I heard a few foxes and squirrels and birds, and there's some horses back there, but they don't bother too much. They're just a wild herd that hangs around. The squirrels like to run around and the bunnies like to run around. It's the time of day and it's season. We were checking the weather to make sure that it wasn't going to rain soon, and it wasn't, so we got very lucky. Started coming up on this boulder, and I really thought that it was going to scare one of the horses, but instead of the boulder scaring my horse or the horse, the bush did. I later on went to figure out that there was a black bear, but the wildlife around here, as in the bears, we don't have many brown bears, and the black bears don't bother us. Up ahead was the herd I was talking about. I heard them earlier. I thought maybe I should jump the tree up ahead, so I did. Continued onward, and as soon as I thought everything was okay, and her ear started to bend, and she spooked again at the black bear. She ran me into a tree, as you saw. It hurt. A twig went up to my neck and through my hair. It hurt really bad. Continued walking on, and her ear started to pen again. Once I noticed that, I knew she was gonna spook. She's reluctant to even let me go forward, and it took a lot of kicking to get her to even walk in a straight line again. Sad. Nat thought from going from a trot to a canter up to the snowy area, and I thought it was a good idea. They seem to be okay. It is a cool down, but I thought that maybe they would enjoy it. It seemed like they did, and we went forward. We didn't want to go up into the snow. We weren't dressed for it, and I hadn't exposed either of our horses to the snow completely, so decided it wasn't a good day today to do that. I continued to canter, and after a while we saw, as you saw, Nat's horse spooked, sadly, at what I assumed was the black bear, but I didn't see it and I didn't hear it either. I kept looking back to make sure she was okay, but I didn't see her. I then looked around and she was cantering down happily. I guess she disappeared from my line of sight for a second. We were out cantering the fields till dark, and I thought that it was a day to call it a day. It was tiring, and I think the horses needed a rest. I was talking to Nat about it, and she wanted to keep going forward. She apparently saw a rainbow, and she wanted to go check out to see if she could find the end of it, and I told her that was okay. She could do what she wanted. I'd head back and she'd go. I watched her walk off through the water, and eventually she did start galloping. I don't know if I caught it on camera or not, but we're gonna let the clip run to see if I did. The sunrise was beautiful, and the stars and the moon were pretty, and yeah, there she is running off into the distance. I cantered in through the gates of our home/stables area. I wanted to untack and let, Precious just give herself some leeway for her being a good girl for today. I removed her saddle and went to go groom her and take care of her before I put her to sleep in her stall. I wanted her to know that I loved her and that she did great today. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. I will be making more, and I hope you all enjoyed the meeting the horses and seeing how we're going to be working with them. I will let you know more in the next vlog/video. Hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. I love you all. Goodbye!